or history, but young people taking English or mathematics or business studies in particular, the numbers are much higher. And there's an upside and a downside to that. Do you understand upside and downside? Plus and, you know. The upside is that we do have a sort of a cadre, a cohort of specialised teachers, many of whom have been teaching media studies or film studies for many, many years. Probably self-trained, because there's no teacher training, hardly any teacher training in media studies. But we do have that cohort of teachers and that kind of body of knowledge about teaching at that level. The downside is that more widely there's a perception that media studies can only be a specialist course at that level. So that teachers who may be actually doing some work with media with younger students will say, well, oh, you know, yes, I do that because it's quite an interesting part of my subject, but I'm not a media teacher. You know, a media teacher is a specialist who teaches these different courses, and that's very unfortunate, I think, because apart from the 100,000 young people taking those examinations, there are 9 million young people in the UK, most of whom don't do any media studies at all. And it's completely arbitrary, you know, according to teachers' enthusiasm, whether they get to take in any, even though there are some elements of media in English and in citizenship in the compulsory curriculum for 11 to 16-year-olds. Nothing for children younger than that, nothing, no requirement. Doesn't mean to say nothing happens, but there's no requirement. And the requirements are really quite marginal. So what it means, for example, is that at least half of the English teachers who are supposed to include media in their courses for 14 to 16-year-olds will do it in relation to something like print